our funds from the public through donations and grants and trusts and fundraisers. And I want to recognize the Board of Supervisors as being key to the success of this program by providing a low-cost clinic, without which we will be forced to fund a much smaller number of animals. We are a profit center for the county. Not only do we, or could we pay the full cost of an operation at the county clinic, but also for every dollar SNAP spends on a spay and neuter, the county saves $3 for collecting and housing and euthanizing the animals. And one study in Los Angeles showed that the county saves $18 for every dollar spent on spaying and neutering. And it's also a health issue of getting unwanted animals that may be diseased out of the public's way. Additionally, it is not your responsibility, but we spend a good share of our money with the local veterinarians here on spay and neuter. Half our money went to the local vets. And this month in February, they're giving special discounts, funded in part by their giving a discount and partly by SNAP funds, in order to have the general public be able to spay and neuter their animals more cheaply. And lastly, I'm not asking for anything this month. We believe Animal Control and its administrator, Bliss Fisher, is doing an outstanding job, and we appreciate your support. And I would have left it at that were not the fact that my wife's birthday was today, and we went down to the city for 3 days and came home to this letter in our SNAP mailbox. And it's a 6-page letter addressed to SNAP, and I'm just going to read the highlights of it, because it shows how important the county clinic is and SNAP support. This lady lived next door to what I would consider a really bad man who left his dog tied up outside and sometimes would leave the house for 4 days and just leave the dog tied up in the yard. And she discovered one day that the dog was barking, and it was one of the hottest days of the year, and the dog was in the sunshine and had no food or water. And so from that time on, she took care of the animal with the occasional help of the owner. To her horror, one day the stray animal showed up and impregnated the dog. And she was horrified to discover that to spay and neuter that dog was going to cost her $536. Or to spay it was a female dog, to spay it. And she said in her letter that her finances had changed dramatically because her boyfriend of 24 years had just died, and they were in the process of buying a house. So she asked for the help of SNAP, and of course it was possible by the benefit of the clinic that the county runs to have that dog spayed. And so thank you for having, but it is an example of what the county is doing for the public. And that's it.
Thank you, and wish from the board your wife a happy birthday. Can we get a picture of you here?
Okay.
Is any other members of the public want to speak on this? No other members? Carmel, did you want to say something? Carmel Angelo, our Health and Human Services
Thank
Director.
you, Supervisor Pinchers. Members of the board, I'm Carmel Angelo, Director for the Health and Human Services Agency, and I've had the pleasure over the past couple years of working with animal care and control, certainly knowing Mr. Winkler and spay and neuter, and even in these times of financial crises, we know the importance of our spay and neuter services. I would just like to congratulate Mr. Winkler and all of the volunteers that have assisted with spay and neuter. Thank you.
Thank you. No other members want to speak? Okay, thank you. Supervisor Colfax?
Dick, I want to thank you for coming here yet again. I think you've been here for all 11 years that I've been on this board. And you made, in the past, a pretty compelling economic argument for what you're doing and what the operation provides to Mendocino County. I've been disappointed year after year that you're not getting the kind of support, or have not been getting the kind of support that actually a logical approach to this issue would have been an obvious response. Given the circumstances we're under today with regard to finances and the state of the economy, this is something that's a little more understandable in the past. But I want to thank you for staying with it, staying out there, and keeping your folks together and doing an excellent job. It's truly an economically desirable process for the county, and I would hope that we can get an elaboration of it in future years. There's more to do. There's quite a bit more that could be done with just a little bit more support. I appreciate your sensitivity to our circumstances at this time, but it might be useful for the supervisors, particularly the new supervisors, to take a look at your numbers of the kind you brought before us in the past as to what kind of return we get on an investment in this particular program. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor Colfax. Okay, with that, we'll move to agenda item 6B. This is a timed item, discussion, possible action, including adoption of a proclamation recognizing February 15th to 21st, 2009 as National Engineers Week in Mendocino County. Sponsors are Transportation Department. Looks like we have Phil Dow here. He's usually the spokesman. Phil, you want to come up and introduce this item? Yeah. Howard was nodding towards Phil, so yeah. Okay, yeah.
That's usually how it happens.
Okay.
My name is Phil Dow. I serve as the director of the Mendocino Council of Governments, and I want to tell you I appreciate the board taking a couple of minutes out of what's a busy day to do something that on the surface seems very superfluous. This is not about us. I'm looking around at these guys here. We all have jobs, and we have engineering backgrounds. And our motivation is, yeah, recognition is nice, but our motivation is, I think it's, even in these times right today, I think it's safe to say that if you double the amount of engineers we have sitting here, and they're all young guys right out of college, we could put them to work. There's that many vacancies just right around here, we cannot find people. That's why it's important that we have this kind of recognition to give young people the idea that this is a good, honorable type of profession to go into. And we don't have enough people going into the engineering field. It's just the numbers are unbelievable. Yeah, it's rigorous. You have to get through the chemistry, you have to get through the physics, all the math, but it's not the engineering classes that knock you out of the program, it's all the other type of science programs. So it is a rigorous schedule to get through this type of program, but the benefits are good, and you can guarantee yourself a pretty good career. But we can't find the people, and I've said it for a number of years that all the young, smart people coming out of high school, they want to be Donald Trump. They want to go into business and make millions. Well, maybe it's our turn, the way things have happened. And so my motivation is I have taken this on as kind of a reminder every January to try to get the board to put on a proclamation on behalf of the Lake Mendocino Engineers Association, because we give out